All right, everyone. Welcome back to yet another episode with the Blue Zone Nosara podcast. And today we have Omar Garcia here with Blue Water Properties. He is a realtor in the area, amongst other things that he does in his free time. So, Omar, thank you for coming. And I wanted to, dive right in and ask you, what your favorite things in Nosara are, and for you to tell us about your experience here and how you got here.
So my favorite things here in Nosara probably are um hanging out with my friends. There's a lot of spaces to do that. So you can go to Nosara town, you can go to Guiones, Pelada, to Garza, and it's all like 10 minutes away. So that's nice. Uh,
What brought you here to Nosara? What was the main reason? Was it family? Was it?
yeah, mainly my family lived here. Um and I was just visiting and going actually somewhere else after,
But you haven't left.
but then I haven't left. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happens with a lot of people here. I feel like Nosara is a place that you come in and then you stay here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And
what do you think about the development in Nosara? Can you tell us a little bit of, what that's looking like right now? Um, you know, you're a realtor, so maybe you can talk to us about, the market and some of that.
yeah. Yeah, so definitely has developed a lot since I got here. Um, and some people say it's normal, but at the same time, Guiones is very special. So, um, yeah, I mean, I think that there has been a lot of growth, a lot of good businesses, good people live here. Um, and as well, I think that it's kind of stopped a little bit because of the water situation. So
So what's that water situation?
So the water situation is pretty much after 2020. There was a lot of constructions going on, and when they checked the water tables and to see how much water there was at the Asada, um, it was
What is an asada?
so the Asada is a pretty much an association of neighbors who are in charge of the management of the water. Um, so the AIA is in charge of um, overseeing these asadas and making sure that they're following all the guidelines and the environmental restrictions. But when they went to see how much water there was in Nosara, it was lower than um, the the levels that are needed in order to give out new water letters. So now it's slowed down because of that.
So no development right now in Nosara.
Currently, no development. Well, no new constructions, at least in Playa Guiones and Playa Pelada uh, for a couple years already.
So what's called the American project right now. This central part that we're in right now in Guiones.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And what do you see for the future of that? Do you think that that's gonna move somewhere, or do you think it's gonna, advance in some way?
Yeah, well, certainly at some point, um, we that live here will have to figure something out to see how we could get um, more water into this area. Of course, there's a moratorium, but there's also um, the deficit, which is that the deficit is that there's um, not enough water for the next 20 years. Um, and once we handle that, we'll have to deal with the uh, overbuilding, or that there's a lot of uh, construction that will be going on at one moment. So there's always consequences to stopping something, and the consequence will be that there's been a lot of accumulation of people who want to build, and then when they do build, um, well, it's not going to be enough construction companies.
Yeah,
But it's just something that we'll have to deal with when it comes.
when it comes.
Um, and I feel like this town is very um, conscious of
Yeah,
the environmental um,
impact.
impact they
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, and you talked about Nosada being very conscious, and there's gonna be people seeing this that, you know, already live here and know about this, but for somebody that has never lived here, what does the profile of a client or a person that wants to live here look like? You know, what does that look like as of 2026? You know, what is that specific person? What do they do? What do they live for? You know, what do they? Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of clients that come in and they're looking for a second home, so a place that they can visit, um, and yeah, just enjoy with their family a couple times a year, and then have it as an investment property the rest of the year, um, or yeah, just renting it out and Airbnb. Uh,
Okay, so vacation rentals basically. There's a big vacation rental business here.
yeah, that definitely that, and some people also who want to live here full time. Um, so I think those are the most common
And,
clients.
and why haven't you left Nosara, Omar? That's
Well,
what's pulling you here.
it's just hard to beat. I mean, it's a place where you can get um, you know, very healthy activities to do with your friends or with your family. Um, or, if you just want to hang out by the beach, go surfing, there's a lot to do. Um, there's also a place where you could just, uh, think a lot and also develop your own projects and ideas. So it's kind of like a place where we can grow.
Okay, and let's continue on that. So what do you think is the main reason of an investor that wants to look into Nosara or a place like Tamarindo or Santa Teresa maybe?
Well, as an investment, I mean, all areas are different and they all have the pros and cons. Um, but as an investor, you want to look to see if, the numbers are good. More than anything, I feel like is if you find that this place offers sort of a lifestyle that you can live or adapt to. Um, Here, I feel like there's a lot of chances to um, develop almost any lifestyle. It's very unique place, and if you want to be social, you can be social. If you want to be quiet, you can work on your ideas. So I think as an investor, you just have to come and see if you like the place, and if you more than anything want to own a place in this area, um, then we can find you something obviously that works for what you want.
Yeah.
Some people that don't want to rent at all, um, 'cause that's also a whole different business.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, just life here is fun and there's so much to do. So,
Yeah. What's your favorite beach break?
so favorite beach break. I like Guiones a lot, especially because it holds up the wave more than other places. But also Ocional and Marbella. Marbella is my favorite spot. Ocional is great.
Yeah. Yeah. And Omar, what does pura vida mean to you? What is that, if I say something like that, what does that mean?
Pura vida is like something you say. Um, well, I say it a lot at the end of a conversation, kind of like sending someone good vibes. So yeah, I think pura vida is just good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nomar, what's your opinion on something like the Blue Zone Nosada podcast? What do you have to say for something like this? A new initiative which is looking to connect the community more and meeting the people that actually live here and how they got here or how they're here.
Yeah, I think um, when we have places where people can voice their opinion and also, um, also just overall communicate what they're doing, who they are, um, is is great in any community, because a lot of times just the fact that maybe we don't talk to our neighbors so much or things like that can distance us from each other, and it could be silly. So
Totally.
I think with something like this, people can know more about our community, and it's obviously a great surf spot and good yoga spot, and it's a lot of nature that's beautiful, but there's a lot of people who are really incredible in this town. Um, and yeah, way more things about this town that not many people know about.
Yeah. And if you had to bring two guests to the podcast that we would interview or converse with, who do you think that we should bring into the podcast? who are two characters, of Nosara that you think would be ideal for this scene?
Um, well, in terms of, I guess it's would be cool to see some of the nonprofits that work in this area, helping the community. And you know they mm,
They're the
they
pillars, that
yeah,
help us go through.
they do a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and we have people like the from the bomberos. Ryan, I think um, he knows about everything, and he knows everyone, and he's very
He's a founder within his field too.
yeah, he's very important because
Mhm.
obviously he helped found the bomberos, and so him, and then maybe my girlfriend Becca,
Okay.
who is the director of WCA, which is the Wildlife Conservation Association of the
Amazing.
area. So, yeah, those two.
Amazing. Perfect. No, thank you for being here, Omar, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Blue Zone Nosara podcast. And I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you, Omar.
Gracias.
Gracias, pura vida.